We're going to start with some poker chip tricks. First one we're going to start with is standard cutting. You're going to hold all 20 chips in your hand. Make sure you can feel the height of the chips. Then with your index finger you're going to cut 5 and put them down. Next you're going to drop the stack, knock into it and cut back. Knock in, cut back, knock in, cut back. Should have 4 stacks of 5. Run them down, should be fine. You should be able to do that perfectly without looking at it. Be aware not to hook. Don't hook your fingers over like so. Always keep your fingers square, cut in nicely. Next thing, you should be able to do that with both hands. Cutting 5s swiftly and easily. That's called cutting. Next stage is penciling. Put your index finger on top of the stack and push it down. Hold the stack with your index finger and thumb, and then pencil 4 off. Pencil 4, pencil 4, pencil 4. That's standard penciling. It's to get 17 when you're playing out a split on roulette. Next thing, it's called the thumb roll. Have 3 in your hand, held by the index and ring fingers, and you're going to roll over with the thumb. Use the ball of the thumb, lift it up and drop it down. Once you get reasonable with it, it looks quite nice. It's quite smooth. Also useful in a casino, if you've got a chip underneath and you want to bring it to the top, flick it over and you're there. If that's, say, a pony, 25 quid, and that's on the layout there, you want it on top so the inspector can see it. Cut it off so it's visible. All very nice. The extension of that is the thumb roll with twirl, using 1 black and 2 white. Thumb roll it over, that leaves you a little edge. Use the thumb to split the 2 up, spin with the index finger and put it back. When you do it rapidly it looks quite nice again. It takes a little while to get it perfectly smooth. Spin, twist. It's called the thumb roll and twirl. Quite a simple trick. It takes about 15-20 minutes to get used to. 2 stacks of 5, and then holding it almost like a claw grip. You're using your thumb, just lift up the 2 stacks and gently tease them together, and it should sort of leaf them together, and then with your fingers smooth them together. So again, cut yourself 2 stacks of 5, break them up, and it looks like that, and squish them together. Try it again. Looks nice trick, but quite funny. Have 2 stacks of 5, put an extra one using a black for contrast here, and then holding the chips here. Don't put your finger on top, otherwise you'll block it. Put it to the side. You're going to hit the edge and just flick it over. Stack of 10. You run them down just like you would a stack of cards, and then you're using your little finger on this hand is going to catch them at the back. The rest of the hand is just going to guide them as they go back up. So you run it down, bring it back, run it down, bring it back up. This is quite useful for showing the inspector what you're actually paying out, or if you're showing other players on the table what you're actually doing. Say these are all £5 chips, but what if you've got a pony in the middle of the stack? The inspector can't see it, especially if you're shielding it. So run it down, they know there's a pony in there. And that'll act as a wedge. When you hit this edge, they'll all lift into there, and you'll have like a section. You can do it with the whole stack. I use everything in stacks of 20, but you should be able to feel 20 as well, not even have to count them. So there's your edge, you should be able to just run it up. Okay. The next one we're going to do is called the Racecar. If you get 2 chips, put them like so, on top of each other. Get a 3rd chip, wedge it in between, and a 4th chip, wedge it on the other side. So you end up with something that looks like that. Sort of two chips with 2 on each end. Actually, I'll use the white ones. Start with 2, put 1 in between, put 1 in between, you end up with something like that. Now put it in your hand like so, but make sure that this finger, see this one, this is actually stopping this back chip from moving, because all the force is going to go into this chip forwards, but the force also wants to make this chip go backwards, so you've got to stop it so this one goes forwards. Clear the way. Put another chip on top, that's the one you're going to hit, and this is why it's called the Racecar. And then your hand's going to go a 1, a 2. Look at where it's going to hit because it might break something. 1, a 2, a 3. Gone over there somewhere. That's called. And that one's called the Racecar. Cut that.
Good.
Okay. Next trick is the finger roll. I'll use a one. I'm not very good at it, so I'll just show you what you're meant to be doing. Just get the chip and let it roll over the first finger, then the second, catch it on the third, catch it on the fourth, pass it underneath, and it should go round in a circle. I'm not great at this. People can do it in a very smooth sort of way and it looks nice. If you do it well, it should look like it's just floating over your finger, but I'm not great at that one. Okay, the next trick is called the pick over. I normally use 6 chips. You can have 2 stacks of 3. What you're doing here is walking the chips in a sort of any direction you want. Use the forefinger and thumb to push down with the thumb and lift with the forefinger, and it should give you enough space to put it on top of your next stack, like so. And then use these two, ring finger and middle finger and thumb, to drop the stack down again. So it should look like that when it's going at sort of reasonable pace. It's not a very useful trick in terms of casinos, but I've seen a lot of people do it when they're bored or they're waiting for a new hand or something, and it looks quite nice and it's got a sort of nice rhythm to it, but it's not actually very practical. That's the pick over. Okay, next one is called the finger roll. It's actually quite difficult, this one. Similar to the thumb roll, which obviously uses the thumb, but this one you're pushing down to the back chips with your index finger and then using the middle finger to flick the front chip over, like so. It's actually I find this one very difficult. It took me ages to get used to it. It's quite it's not what your hand would like to do. Your hand is quite comfortable doing that, but it doesn't want to do that for some reason. But that one's called the finger roll.